right, so welcome everyone. Today I'm going to be covering what I call the compelling incentive system. So, compelling incentives have the ability to produce, pretty quick and lucrative results for most businesses, right? And you use these compelling incentives to motivate your prospects and your customers even to take action, either to buy or to take some kind of action that leads them closer to your sale. Right? So before I go into the detail of that, I just want to go back in time for a moment. Right? If you remember when you were growing up, you probably remember opening a brand new box of cereal and dumping out all the contents just to get the free prize inside. I mean, we were all there ourselves. Our kids went through that as well, right? And like many other parents, I'm sure you've also been through that stage of being held hostage by your kids demanding a McDonald's Happy Meal just to get that 25 cents plastic toy that comes with it, right? They don't eat the food, but they just want to play with the toy. Right? And then I'm sure you've all watched the Verimark type of infomercials on TV, right? And noticed the latest type of strategies they use to get us to take immediate action. Right? So they tell you the price is $4.99, but during this special offer, you can now buy what we're selling for just $1.99. And if you order within the next 10 minutes, because that's not all, right? If you order within the next 10 minutes, they'll double the order for free. You just need to pay the additional shipping and handling. So, yeah, wow, that's $1,000 of whatever just for 199 Rand, right? So it sounds like quite a deal. Maybe that explains why these businesses make millions every year off these kind of promotions. Yeah. So compelling incentives have the ability to produce, almost like immediate and very lucrative results for any type of business. Whether you're selling goods or whether you're selling professional services, it doesn't matter. You can use compelling incentive. But what is important is the type of incentive you use depends on the specific type of business you have. And very importantly, your ability to laser target your ideal clients. You must be able to laser target them for this to really, really work well. So just keep in mind, I mean, from the previous trainings that I've also offered, keep in mind that to remain competitive in business today, you must find a way to become unique. Right? You've got to separate your business from your competition in order to dominate your market. And once you do this, you must be able to then position your message in front of your ideal prospects. So the question you've always got to ask yourself is, why should someone purchase from you instead of from the competitors? Right? So to make this simple and easy for you to implement quickly, we'll focus on 3 powerful, compelling incentive categories, right? There are 3 categories I'm going to cover today. The first one is free trials. Then there's free information. And there's value-added bonuses. So these are 3 different categories of incentives, right? So free trials can be used in 4 different situations. Okay, so I'm going to cover those 4 situations. Free information comes in multiple forms as well. And finally, the value-added bonuses also have a number of variations. So I'm going to try and cover each category as much in depth as I can. And then at the end, once we've worked through all 3 of these categories, we'll look at different types of businesses and which incentive works best for which type of business. So let's start off with free trials, right? So Free trials, when you use this, right? When you know that your product or your service provides your customers with exceptional benefits and really excellent value, like if you've got a proven method, system, or product, something that, will almost guarantee the results, then compelling a prospect to give you the opportunity to demonstrate its qualities becomes the most effective form of advertising. So when you've got something really, really good that can really give superb benefits, then a free trial is a great way to start engaging with people. So there are 4 situations where you should consider using, free trials to increase, your sales. The first one is when you want to motivate prospects to try your product or service so that they can experience those benefits firsthand, right? If you've got really, really good benefits and you want them to experience it, then, then this is the way to go, right? So if your product or service offers either, it's like repeat in nature, you use more, you use it repeatedly month after month after month, or regularly, right? Or if it has high lifetime value for you as the owner, and the benefits are really unique compared to the competition, then you should really, really consider a free trial. Right? So these free trials can be used to accomplish 2 major objectives. The first one is you can recruit new customers with us pretty well, or you can also introduce new products or services to your existing customer. It's a great way to do that, a free trial, right? So, how often do you go to a mall and someone asks you to sample a product that you normally wouldn't buy, They sell, there's trials for ladies, skin, wrinkle-free ointment or whatever, Here's a free trial of this, right? So those free trials should be used to introduce, if you've got a superior product or service to those prospects, and that will start to compel them to become regular customers if they start to see the benefits that they get. If you can demonstrate it, then they are likely to become good customers. And the more targeted you are with your prospects, the more aggressive you can be with your free trials, right? So that's a kind of philosophy. Excuse me, I just need to drink some water for my throat. It's a kind of philosophy that personal injury attorneys use. We see that on our TV as well, right? Their time is valuable. They cost a lot. They're expensive. But they'll gladly sacrifice a couple of hours to position themselves in front of a good qualified prospect, right? The prospect is obviously screened prior to the meeting to make sure they are, well qualified. But we've all seen those attorneys, road accident attorneys, etc., advertising on TV. They'll give you a free consultation, even though they're very expensive per hour. They'll do that for free because they know that their offer is so good and their results are so good that once you sit in front of them, the chances are that they're going to, get you as a client. So let me give you a couple of examples of free trials and how it applies to different businesses. So let's take some simple small businesses. A hair salon, right, could offer a free haircut or a manicure. Okay? An accountant or financial planner could offer a free tax assessment. If you're like a landscaper, you could offer free landscape maintenance in order to close the sale on a major landscape project, right? A dentist or a chiropractor or a physician could offer a free initial exam or treatment. If you're really good at what you do as a chiropractor, and I'm not just saying a general chiropractor, but if you're a specialist chiropractor that solves a specific problem and you appeal to those people and you give them a free first treatment and show them how they benefit, that is a great free trial. Health clubs, fitness centers, weight loss clinics could offer free trial periods such as, come in for a 60-day free trial membership. And that includes 2 hours free with a personal trainer. Right? Especially if your lifetime value of that client is high. If you're going to make a lot of money over the next couple of years because you know they're going to stay with you, it's worthwhile upfront putting in those free trials. Right? A restaurant could offer a free meal. Right? How many of them think about offering a free meal? But if you know a specific type of client will come back once they've seen your service and experienced your food, etc., if they will come back, it might be very much worth offering that meal, because the retail price of the meal is what the client sees. Let's say it comes to 600 Rand or whatever, right? But the actual cost of delivering that was maybe 100 Rand or 150 Rand, right? Right, so the other thing to think about that a lot of businesses don't realize, if you have free time or spare capacity in your business during your, a typical work day, then often those free trials don't cost you anything, right? But they frequently lead to lifetime customers as well as referrals. So for example, if you're an accountant, a professional accountant, and you're not working flat out 100% 5 days a week, you've got some spare time. For you to go sit in front of somebody, a potential client, and give them a free hour consultation where you're going to assess their financials is actually not going to cost you anything more, because your fixed costs are already covered. Right? If you're a chiropractor, right, that charges, 1,000 Rand an hour or whatever, and you're not busy on Wednesdays, and you offer a potential, group of clients to come in for a first free chiropractic consultation, it actually costs you nothing, because your fees or your fixed fees are fixed, right? Whether you use that hour or not, you've still got the same cost. So if you've got spare capacity, just utilize that smartly, right? Because it costs you nothing. Okay. Right, then you can also use free trials to compel your customers to purchase more from you. Okay. So for example, a landscaper could offer to plant an entire area of annuals, right? It's going to cost him a bit of money, but he's getting it at cost price. But since those plants need to be replaced every year, that free trial, if you give great experience to that individual that you want as a client, that free trial would most likely motivate that customer to purchase that service again next year and might take you on as the landscaper, right? Other examples, when Starbucks announced the full line of tea-based gourmet drinks, they offered their coffee drinkers free samples to jumpstart their demand. They didn't just put it on the menu. As you came in and ordered your coffee, would you like to try this free sample? Right? So free samples, a way to get people to buy more. Okay. Right, so the second way that you can use these free trials is to increase sales by using free demonstrations. Okay. So if your product or service requires a demo, in order to show its benefits, then a free demo can be a really powerful way to incentivize prospects. We all know the story of Kirby vacuum cleaners. I mean, I'm sure you've all also had somebody in your house somewhere along the line trying to sell a Kirby vacuum cleaner, right? They use demos as their primary sales tool. Why? Because the performance of that machine is far superior to anything else, right? The moment the prospects see that vacuum pick up the most resistant spots or the unseen dirt after your vacuum cleaner's been over it, right? And they still pick up a ton of dirt. You know, you almost compel, if you're in the market for a vacuum cleaner, you're going to be compelled to think about, that because of the way that it cleans your home, right? And the power of demonstrations doesn't just apply to products. It can be used with equal effectiveness for services as well. So, Makalani, it's just as applicable for yourself, like a coach, a consultant, a trainer, an accountant could offer to demonstrate their expertise for free by providing 2 hours of free training or coaching or consulting or whatever, right? So, accountant could sit down with a small business and say, right, cash flow is the biggest problem with most of the guys. So why don't I sit with you? Let's work through the 7 levers of cash flow. We look at your business, we'll identify which ones are the best for you, and we'll put a plan together for you to lift your cash flow over the next 6 months. Come in 2 hours for free. Let's get that done, right? Hell of attractive. Okay. But a good chance you're going to gain the client because you have an opportunity to demonstrate your expertise. So demos could be for products and it could be for services, right? So the third situation where you need to consider using free trials to increase your sales involves free evaluations. This is quite a cool one as well, right? So when does a free evaluation work, right? So this works well when let's say you have business services, and a prospect has a specific need, but they don't realize that a good solution actually exists, or they don't even know that your solution exists, right? And if performing an evaluation will reveal to your prospect that your product or service can fulfill that need, then offering that free evaluation is very powerful. And it's powerful for 2 reasons. Number one, it can literally produce customers out of thin air, right? After all, they might never have even thought about buying from you or from your competitors until you showed them that they had a problem and that there is a solution, right? And that they were completely unaware of that, right? So one of the evaluations that I used to use a while ago was called Ditch the Chaos. Here are the 10 things, if your life at work is in chaos, here are the 10 things you need to assess. Here's a free evaluation, self-evaluation. Score yourself against those 10 things. And if you're scoring less than this, you've got a serious problem, right? And if you've got a serious problem, here's a free webinar to come see how to fix it, as an example, right? So a lot of people understand that they've got chaos, but they don't understand all the details of what's causing it and how to solve it. But by taking them through an evaluation, tick, 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 oh, yes, oh, I didn't think about, oh, yes, I've got this, ooh, scoring really poor on this, didn't think about this. Yeah, once they're through that, they've got a new perspective on why they're performing so badly. And that creates a need for a solution. Okay. The second reason why this is so good is, when you're the one that provides them with a solution to their problem, it makes you the obvious choice to do the job. So this is why this is really, really powerful. And this technique applies to every product or service where your prospects need to be educated. Right? So, if you've got continuous pain, body ache, continuous body ache, and your doctor hasn't been able to diagnose it, you might have fibromyalgia. Do the self-assessment evaluation and see what the chances are of you having fibromyalgia. Okay, you do that assessment. Wow, I'm scoring quite high on this. There's a good chance I might have fibromyalgia. At last, there might be a solution to my problem that no doctor can solve. Right? Now, here's a solution to that. So just by talking about that problem, defining the problem in the evaluation, you already set yourself up as somebody knowledgeable about it, and that can provide a solution, right? So, this technique applies to, it applies to literally every product or service where education is required. So it could be like vehicle refinancing. If you've got a financed vehicle with a balloon payment at the end, how do I get rid of the balloon payment now? I'm going to owe 50,000 at the end of my period now. What do I do, right? Or vehicle repair, right? Or home maintenance, or computer problems such as viruses, storage, information, processor speed, business problems, health problems, all kinds of things, right? So even pharmacies now offer free blood pressure tests. That's like an evaluation, right? To gain new customers and patients. So come in, we'll give you a free blood pressure test. Right? The other thing to think about, if you do an evaluation like this, it's great to have a free one, but it doesn't have to be free. Right? In many cases, people might desperately want a diagnostic, right? So if you charge, let's say you do vehicle servicing, if you charge 175 Rand for a vehicle diagnostic performance or something like that, that often leads to quite a percentage of high profit repair and replacement work as well. Right? And people might be willing to pay that small amount for a good diagnostic, right? Right, and if all of your competitors charge a hell of a lot more for that type of evaluation, then your offer becomes even more compelling. Okay. So guys, the fourth situation of the free trials, okay, is seminars or webinars, okay? Free seminars or webinars that educate your prospect on the benefits and the value that you offer. This is also really, really powerful when it's designed correctly. So seminars or webinars should be considered whenever a demo can enhance an educational process. So if you need to show somebody why the use of your tool or why the use of your system or your method or your product is beneficial for them, but if it requires quite a bit of time, more than one sentence, to convey the entire message, it's not something you can just tell them in 3 minutes. There might be a number of aspects that you've got to cover, right? So it's great where there's technical stuff involved, or more complex understanding of the benefits of what your product or service actually does for them. Yeah? And the beauty of this is it gives you a chance to build personal rapport with those people that are attending, as well as displaying your expertise and preeminence in your product or your service or whatever that it is that you're offering, right? But a couple of things you got to be very careful of. Your seminar must provide value. Very important. I'm sure we've all been to webinars and so on where you listen to people, and they don't provide any value. There's no value. You must be able to demonstrate the benefits that those attendees will experience if they buy your products or services as well. So that's critically important. So there's a whole process behind that, and I can't really cover too much of that in today's presentation. But just know that free seminars or webinars can be very, very powerful as well. Okay. Okay, so the 4 situations in this first category of free trials. Let them experience the benefits you offer, okay? Let them actually physically experience it. Give them a sample. Give them a taster, something like that, right? Give them a free demo. If your product or service is really so good, demo it, right? Physically demo it. If they don't really know that they know they've got a problem, but they don't know the details of the problem enough to find a solution, give them a free evaluation and then show them that they've got a problem and that you have a solution for that, right? And then finally educate them using a seminar or a webinar, right? Very, very powerful. I've got a client who's in the Wi-Fi business who's been using webinars to go back to his existing clients to cross-sell other products and services for problems they didn't even know that they had, right? So he'd invite them to the webinar, they'd attend, he'd show them the issues, he'd show them how to solve it, he'd show them he'd have the solution, and he'd make them an offer at the end, and that's worked really well for them. Okay, guys, so that was that first category, free trials, right? And I hope as we're going through this that you're thinking about your business and the opportunities that could pop up there. Okay, the second category is free information. Okay, so free information. There are a couple of things that, objectives that you need to think about if you're going to provide free information. Number 1, will this free information pre-qualify your target customers? In other words, will it single out the prospects you're trying to reach with your message? Okay. So why this is important is because the way these messages are structured by most small businesses is really poor, right? So for example, a chiropractor offering free pain relief information can often be dismissed as being too generic for most people, okay? If you've just got some general form of pain, you're probably not really going to pay much attention to that message. Whereas if you've got free pain relief information for fibromyalgia sufferers that have continuous body pain, right? And you target that specific niche market, you can immediately grab the attention of those specific prospects. That's why I said at the beginning, your ability to really target your ideal client becomes important. Okay? So, attorneys use this on TV every day again. They constantly target specific conditions, right? Like roadworthy accident will get you a claim. Or the latest one I saw was something about don't hand your firearm into the police. We've got a legal solution for you, right? So it's very specific about who they are talking to. So those people will immediately pay attention to those ads. So the first objective is this. You got to know who you're talking to so that when you put that message out there, it pre-qualifies those people, your ideal clients, and the others who are not your ideal clients don't pay attention to it. Right? Okay. And then the second thing is, will the info educate them in detail on the unique benefits that you provide? And this is critical because the statistics show that approximately 30% of prospects that request your free info will become customers if you've provided them with very, very good information, right? And you've educated them on the benefits they're going to get of solving the problem that they have using your methodology, right? In other words, highlighting your business's USP, right? This becomes a very powerful technique to use. But as I said in the beginning, the most important thing of free information is what we call this interrupting headline. Okay. It's got to talk to the pain point that the person is trying to solve. Otherwise, people don't pay attention to it. Right? So let me give you a couple of examples here. Here's free information. It's a free report. This is on what we call a landing page. This is typically how this is presented. Okay, it's like a single page on your website. Chronic pain eliminated forever, right? So if you are a chronic pain sufferer, this is aimed at you, right? Revolutionary new scientific breakthrough has been clinically proven to provide immediate and permanent relief from all chronic pain. Okay? Free report. Okay? Revealing report gives facts and clinical information as well as a 35% discount coupon for your first treatment. Just put your name, email address, and then give it to me, right? So free information. And in this landing page here, there's a little video on the left-hand side with probably the doctor or somebody standing there saying, hey, if you're a chronic pain sufferer, you might be suffering from fibromyalgia. We know, doctors have difficulty diagnosing it. If you've been to 100 different diagnoses or 100 different specialists and they haven't been able to solve it or give you a diagnosis, check out this report. You might have fibromyalgia. This could be the solution that you need. Just leave your name and give us the best email address where we need to send it to, and we'll get it to you right away. Boom, right? But notice the headline once again, right? Chronic pain eliminated. It's about chronic pain sufferers. So it's trying to self-qualify people. If you're not a chronic pain sufferer, you're not going to pay attention to this. Okay? Here's an accountant. Accountants, CPAs, QuickBooks consultants, EAs, bookkeepers, calling out upfront who this is for. Need more clients in your accounting practice? Get started with Sandy Smith-Levier's free report, 5 simple steps to get more clients. Send me immediate access to the report. Name, email, subscribe, boom, 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 right? Another one, free ebook, the 90-day marketing plan, right? Gain clarity, focus, direction in your marketing. Send me the free ebook, right? This is one of my clients. This is what we created for his business. 5 steps to turn your dysfunctional body corporate around in 60 days. The quintessential guide to get the best out of your managing agent, right? Take control back, right? Stop being frustrated about poor performance, blah, 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 right? Yeah. So guys, you see how powerful information can be, but it's got to have the right interrupt headline, right? The headline's got to talk to your ideal clients so that they can put their hand up and say, yes, that's me, I'm interested. Okay. You don't have to have this on a landing page. You could just have a PDF of this. And if you speak to somebody that says, geez, I've got this problem, or, I need this tool, or I'm trying to get rid of, I'm dealing with this problem, you can say, well, why don't I just send you our guide? It's called this. Would you like it? Yeah. Boom. You start to get prospects. Okay. So that was the information the info, the free information. It can also be videos. Videos are very powerful and are very popular. It could be training videos. It could be frequently asked questions videos. If you know your prospects are searching for certain answers or continuously ask certain questions, you can record short answers and create a YouTube channel or put it on your website. Right? All your answers, all your questions answered about X, Y, Z. Very powerful. Right, so the third category is, value-added bonuses. Right, so value-added bonuses, there are also 4 different situations where you should consider, providing value-added bonuses to motivate your prospects to take action, right? So this is one of the most compelling type of incentives that you can offer, because, who doesn't like free stuff? Everybody likes free stuff. And when used properly, they motivate your ideal clients to take a specific action, right? And yet, if it's designed correctly, they often require very little investment on your side. That's the beauty of this, right? So this can include things like free gifts or additional products and services, and that kind of thing. So there are 4 situations you should consider providing value-added bonuses, right? The first one is when you want to increase the perceived value of your offer. So you've got an offer. It might be quite a nice offer, but you really want to boost the value of that offer, right? So here, a free gift affects the prospect's decision-making process by reducing the total cost of purchase in the buyer's mind, right? So infomercials are famous for using this proven technique. Every infomercial ever made ends by saying something like, call now and we'll include such and such a free bonus offer. This is worth 300 Rand, right? So, sorry, let me just do this. Accountant could offer, let me give you another example. Accountant could offer to perform a quarterly audit worth, let's say, the retail value of that is 800 Rand for a small business owner when they agree to work with the accountant on a monthly basis. Okay. Does it cost that accountant 800 Rand every quarter? No, it doesn't. If the accountant isn't 100% busy, utilizing that spare time to make that offer was worth it to get the client, because the client usually stays with the accountant for a very, very long time, right? So the specific offer you decide upon should be carefully weighed against 5 things. Right? Number 1, what is the objective of your incentive? Number 2, can you pinpoint your target prospect? Okay. Number 3, what's the lifetime value of your customer? Number 4, what's the probability they'll purchase? And number 5, what's your current or future available capacity? Because you need to be careful that your compelling incentive doesn't result in a high percentage of people taking advantage of it with no intent of ever buying, right? So, and that just highlights the fact that you should always perform a small test first on every compelling incentive, that you create. So if you create a compelling incentive, test it first on a small scale before you roll it out en masse. Otherwise, you won't know if your offer will be profitable or, for you or not. So it's important, you've got to run the numbers. It's always a numbers game, right? If you end up getting 50% of the prospects that take advantage of your offer to buy something extra, that 50% may pay for both the promotion and all the direct costs, for the free billable work, etc., that kind of thing, right? And it might cover the cost of the 50% that don't buy, right? But here's the real key. is how much underutilized capacity do you have? If you're paying your staff a set salary and they have free time, then they aren't working, then the labor portion of that incentive is basically cost-free. It costs you absolutely nothing, right? So very important, your incentive offer should contain specific limitations, right? It should be limited to people who fit your ideal customer profile, not just to anybody and everybody. Maybe to specific days and times, if that takes advantage of underutilized capacity at those days and times, right? Or even specific quantities to limit your exposure, and things like this incentive can't be combined with other promotions and stuff like that. And maybe at times make sure it has an expiration date, like 10 days from the date of the offer, this incentive expires, right? So the second situation where you should then consider providing value-added bonuses is if you want people to buy more or to increase the size of what they buy, right? So I'll give you another one or two examples. Let's say you're a hair salon, right? And the average customer spends, a lady customer spends 500 Rand per visit. By offering a high compelling bonus, you can easily increase this average transaction. In fact, if the bonus has a high perceived value relative to what they're buying, it makes what they're buying almost look like they're getting it for free. Okay. So for example, the hair salon could offer a free pedicure valued at 250 Rand to anyone that purchases a makeup kit for 240 Rand. So yeah, we're offering you this for 240 Rand, a free makeup kit. But with that, we're going to throw in 250 Rand free pedicure as well. So, the bonus is worth more than the thing that they're buying. Right? Then when do they offer the pedicure? When they've got slow hours. Okay, so you can come and get this free pedicure on a Tuesday afternoon or a Monday morning or a Tuesday afternoon. You can come in anytime and we'll give you that free pedicure. Right? Costs them absolutely zero, right? But they might sell a hell of a lot more of those goodies, which is a high margin. Right? Okay, guys, I know this is a lot of, a lot of information. Are you guys still good? We've got one or two more to go.
No, fun. All good.
Okay, awesome. Yeah.
You're right.
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, we don't want to just suddenly hear blank on the other side. Eh?
Yeah, no. So let me give you another example where you can use a value-added bonus to increase the number of times people purchase for you or bring them in sooner. Just think about this for a second. Let's say you've got a business where you service motor cars. Okay? So you're not a original equipment manufacturer. You're not like a big brand, a Ford dealership or something like that. You're an independent dealer, okay, and you service all types of cars, okay, and they come in. And let's say the car's generally recommended to come in every 10,000 Ks for the oil change, right, oil service, right? But most of the guys that come to you, their cars are out of warranty, so they don't go to the OEM anymore because it's quite expensive. So they come to you, right? But you notice that they don't come in at 10,000 Ks, they're coming in at 12,000 Ks now because the warranty is actually not at play anymore, right? So they sometimes don't worry too much if it's over or or not, right? Now, if you can motivate those guys to bring in their cars at 10,000 instead of 12,000, you can increase your revenue by almost 30%, right? Just by bringing more cars in sooner, right? So by adding a value-added bonuses for customers to come in for their service at that 10,000K interval rather than later, you can provide them with additional services, right? You can offer maybe premium oil instead of standard grade oil, or 10% off any additional products or services that they need performed, right? Because you're getting so much additional revenue in, you can afford to take a percentage of that and offer it as a free bonus. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, okay. Then let's go to the third one and then the last one. The third one is when you can use a value-added bonus as an incentive for non-buying action. So let's say you want people to take up a warranty, or people they buy things and they don't fill in the warranties, right? And you want them to fill in the warranty so you can get the name and email address and you can communicate with them and sell more to them and so on, right? Or to book an appointment, right? That kind of thing. So you want them to take certain actions that they tardy with, if I can call it that, right? So yeah, we offer what we call an ethical bribe. It's a bribe, but it's an ethical bribe. Right? So you offer them a free gift or a free trial. Right? And when you know and understand your ideal target prospect, you can offer them a gift that will compel them to check you out. Right? So many financial planning agencies, for example, offer maybe, come for a dinner for two and listen to my presentation. Free dinner for two. It's going to be accompanied by a quick 20-minute presentation if both spouses attend my live financial presentation. Yeah, it's an ethical bribe. Right? Or accountant that gives a lunch and learn presentation. He invites his clients and says, bring a friend who's also a business owner. And if you both come along for a free lunch, and I'm going to have some speaker that's going to talk about something very, very, very interesting. Right? And I'm going to give a quick 10-minute overview of, what I do. Okay. But once again, make sure it's laser targeted to the ideal prospects and that the offer is compelling, right? So you want to make sure the right people come and take up that offer. And once again, test it on a small sample before you roll it out, right? Then the fourth and last situation for value-added bonuses to get your prospects to take action. And once again, that is to fill your underutilized capacity. Most businesses have slow times. Could either be during a particular time during the day, or a particular time during the week, or a particular time during the month, or a particular time during the year, December or January or April or whatever it is. A compelling bonus has the ability to pull people in there, right? So let's say a restaurant struggles in January. Okay? You offer a complimentary bottle of wine or a companion meal worth 125 Rand if the diners come in before 6 p.m. or after 9 p.m. Monday to Thursday, whatever the slow days are, right? Now, what does that cost them, right? There are two ways they could do this. They could have said, listen, we're going to give you 125 Rand off the bill if you come before 6 and after 9, Mondays to Thursdays, right? But when you discount, guys, this is very important. When you discount, you lose 125 Rand straight to the bottom line. Boom. Wiping out your margin, right? But if you offer a complimentary bottle of wine or a free companion meal valued at 125 Rand, the actual out-of-pocket costs is more like 50 Rand. Because you bought that bottle of wine at wholesale prices, bulk, you know, a while ago, right? They see the retail value, you are actually losing only the cost value. Okay, same with cooking that meal, right? You would have had those chefs in the restaurant anyway during slow times. So there's no additional labor costs. Okay, the meal cost is actually just the cost of the cost of the goods, right? So it could be maybe around 50 Rand in total for you. Right? So now you've actually gained, right, 75 Rand as compared to discounting at 125 Rand. Okay, so just smart ways of doing this, right? So we've looked at different ways where free trials, free information, value-added bonuses can be used in your business. Right. Now, let's quickly match this to businesses, and then you'll have a good understanding. So businesses, we can put into three broad categories. Number one, a business that's a commodity type business. Okay, it sells a commodity type product or commodity type service. In other words, there's lots of alternatives and competition around. You know, yours looks very similar to the next one, to the next one, to the next one, right? That's a commodity type business. The second type is a speciality type business, right? There's something special about the way you design it or what you're offering, etc. And the third type is a business that offers a clear superior product or a service. So it could be a Kirby vacuum cleaner, right? It could be a proven health product, a proven skin wrinkle cream, or, you know, whatever. But it's proven, it's superior, or a superior service, or so on, right? So what I do here is I start splitting it into those three categories, right? So on the right here is a commodity type business, right? So guys, let's just think about this, because often people don't see this, but these are commodities. An optometrist, yes, he's a specialist. He studied many years, etc., but he's a commodity. Why? Because there's another optometrist next door, and another one, another K away, and another one, another K away, and they all do the same thing. Okay? Insurance. Okay? Somebody who sells office supplies. Okay? A managed IT service company, a tire replacement company. Yeah, they all look the same. They're commoditized. Okay? An accountant. You know, specific types of products, nuts and bolts. Okay. The second type is a speciality type business. So as we go through this, just think about your business and where you feel you fit in. So it's a unique product or unique service. It needs some of your customization to deliver it. Okay. So a consultant or a business coach or a gift shop or an architect or a computer designer is not selling standard computers, but somebody who says, okay, I'll build you this computer for Gaby, right? Or even a garden center could be with speciality type things in it, right? Those could all be categorized as speciality type businesses, okay? And then the third category is where you've got a superior product or business, right? With proven outstanding results, right? So it could be a specialist consultant in tax savings for tech businesses, who can show you that it can probably save you 100,000 Rand a year that you're leaving on the table right now, right? Kirby vacuum cleaner. certain anti-aging products, innovative products with greater functionality than the competitors, a specific type of a health formula, okay, a nappy that doesn't leak, as an example. I think they're all probably leak-proof these days, but many years ago you had, have certain nappies that would leak, right? Leak-proof nappy, or something that's got something unique and special to it, but that's got a proven benefit, right? An accountant that doesn't just do compliance and tax and that kind of thing, but who specializes in helping restaurants to build an empire. In other words, multiply their business, right? With a proven model. Okay, so you think about where you are. Then in each of those categories, what fits best here, right? And here's the recommendation, right? If you've got a superior product or business, then free trials are a great way to go, okay? Give a free sample, or perhaps the product fits a free demo, free evaluation, particularly if you services, or free seminar or webinar. Fantastic ways of educating people about and showing and demonstrating why your product or service is better than your competitors. Okay? If you sell something unique, right? So you're consultant, business coach, gift shop, architect, garden center, you got unique products and services, right? Free information can be very powerful, okay? So yeah, it could be a free guide, a free video, training video, a free how-to, those kinds of free information can work really, really well in educating people as to why they should be using your product or service. Okay? If you're in a commodity type business, okay, then value-added bonuses work well. You can increase the perceived value of your offer with that. You can increase the size of frequency of them buying that commodity from you. You can motivate your prospects to do non-buying actions, and you can fill your underutilized capacity with those value-added bonuses. And make sure that you're working at a higher capacity and more profitably. Okay. So guys, I know this is information overload. I know this one is always a big one. With a lot of, certainly with a lot of variations and examples and so on. But yeah, over to you guys. Questions that you have, or anything that you're uncertain about. Have you managed to fit your business into one of those three categories? And have you managed to hone in on what kind of incentive would probably work well for you? Any questions around that?
Yeah, Peter?
Yeah, Doug.
It's quite interesting that you got this. I've got a meeting this afternoon with the 3 separate business managers for the next quarter, the next 90 days, where this type of stuff is going to be put in. So I have, excuse me, for this week, played around with a few ideas. And I'll give you the idea I've got, and then I know exactly what the resistance is. So we run a service station, and the one service station's got a shop with it, like they all have. Then there's another service station that we just run the shop at. So our coffee that we provide at these shops is actually pretty good. I'm not a coffee connoisseur, but I think it's pretty good. So we've brought in this system where you can buy a little card, and when you've bought 10 cups and it gets clipped, you get the 11th cup free, the normal card.
Yep. Yeah.
So I was reading an article the other day on Starbucks a couple of years back, when it was sold by its original owner. I can't remember his name. And Starbucks went into a bit of a downward spiral. And they asked him to come back. And what he did was, all these cards that people, get dished out to, he changed it. They did not exist. You had to buy the card. So in other words, you bought a card with 10 cups on it, but you only paid for 8.
Yeah.
So you were getting 2 free cups, but they were getting the money up front.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can't remember the exact figures. It's in a book that I read this week. They're sitting with about $8-9 million in the bank that has never ultimately been used. Because a guy loses a card, he gets to work and the card's in his car, or it's in his other wallet, or say he just buys another cup. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
But now, where the negative part comes here is trying to convince the guys that are in charge of these shops that that's not costing them money, because they've calculated what a cup of coffee costs them. And it comes out with everything, with labor, with it comes at about under R6 a cup, okay? And we selling the cups for $30.
Right.
Now, trying to tell you, these guys in their head, they're giving R60 away.
Yeah, they're not giving.
You know what I'm saying? And this is the experience I have with staff. When you're trying to show them, you've got to, using a stupid saying, give to get.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And
so,
that's just an experience. I'm going to be dressing this afternoon. It's exactly that.
Yeah.
And the other idea which we're going to do, and I'm just sharing with the guys, is we've got a tire outlet. So what we want to do is, if you come in and you have a free tire check and we have to do work, we will give you wheel balancing free. Will be deducted from the bill, because with a franchise, we've actually got to include it. That's got to be shown. Do you know what I'm saying? But
Yes.
You won't pay for it. So we will do a free check and you'll get free wheel balancing on your spend on your, in other words, I can tell you now, Peter, and I think it was Dave said it the other day, just about the windscreen wipers. If you check the windscreen wipers, and I brought that into it after listening to him, because it's been something that's been sitting in my head. They come and check tires, but check the windscreen wipers as well, because it's something none of us do. Nobody does it.
Yeah.
So what we're saying to the guys is, if you come and get it all done, it's free. We'll just give you a checklist. We've got them. They pre-printed. If there's work to be done, we take the wheel balancing off the cost at the end of the day. Because any work on a tire should be rebalanced, no matter what, even if you fix a puncture.
So Doug,
Yeah,
I think you're on the right track. So I think what the guys must also remember is this. The forecourt often doesn't make a lot of money, right? Because the fuel's regulated.
No, it's very difficult.
But your shop makes money, right? Because it's got margin. You can only sell to people if they're in the store.
Yeah.
So you're giving away R6 times 12 Rand to get somebody into the store, right? Because he's going to come back and back and back. So ask yourself, every time, go look at the data, every time somebody buys a cup of coffee,
do they get a pile
what
of
else do they
peanuts?
buy? What else do they buy? Right?
Exactly.
So I know I had to go visit a client about a week ago. So I stopped off, it was quite a drive. I stopped off at the garage. It was one of the Cecil garages, if I remember correctly. I wanted a quick cup. So I popped in and I thought, geez, I hadn't had breakfast. Let me just grab one of those egg sandwiches, those egg mayo sandwiches at the same time, right? So that cup of coffee cost him $6. He sold it for 30. I can't remember what it was, but let's use your numbers.
Yeah, it's round about there.
And the sandwich now, right? Now, if I didn't go in for the cup of coffee, I wouldn't have bought the sandwich. Okay, and if your system is of cards, is bringing people into the same shop every time, so that I come and I refill up with you guys, so I can get my free coffee, and I buy a sandwich or whatever it is. That's what's giving you the opportunity to sell to me.
Yeah.
Getting me in the store means you can show me specials, you can give discount. Well, don't give discount. You can show me other specials. I might buy other things. the lady behind the counter, if she's trained properly, would say, here's your coffee. By the way, would you like something else with it?
Yeah, the
Would you like
McDonald's
something?
syndrome. Always trying to
Would
sell you
like
one more
something to
thing.
eat, right?
Yeah.
But 99% of them don't ask.
Nope.
So you don't get, right? So it's about getting, getting the people in the door. And, if you're giving away 12 Rand to get that person to come in 10 times, to buy a cup of coffee with that fat margin and buy other things, and they're filling up at your forecourt. That, to me, that much better than that.
It's not rocket science, is it?
It's not,
Yeah.
It's not rocket science.
But it's exactly it. But it's getting guys to think outside of that. I think when you're in the retail trade, which is we basically are, guys are just so driven by bottom line. They don't see, how can I put it, is how to grow it. And I think one of your sessions you covered some time back, and I don't know if the other guys are aware or they do it as well. One of the biggest things that I've checked in all the businesses that I've been involved in is there's nothing in place to actually measure how many people walked through the door, what did they spend, what could they have spent. Unless you're analyzing that type of stuff, you're just looking at the end of the day and said, we turned over 1,000 Rand. You don't know if you could have turned over 2,000 Rand. You don't know.
Yeah.
And it's those figures. I think if you take a step back and work on that, you'll see you don't have to. We've done it with fuel. Fridays are our busiest days on our forecourts because we get a lot of tourists come through on a Friday. So the guys arrive here, they fill up because of the weekend. They're going to go and ride around in the mountains. Sunday they go. They don't want to have the hassle with that. But we worked it out that you had to fill, I think it was 4 extra cars a week to actually meet budget. That's all it came down to. But when you tell a guy he's got to put another 200, 300, 100 liters of fuel onto his bottom line, he doesn't see it that way. He sees that big number and he passes out. But you break it down to the individual spend, and I think that is vital.
Yeah, know your numbers. It's so useful, right?
Yeah. Anyway, that's just 2 of my little experiences.
If coffee is the draw card, then that card system could bring you those 4 extra. And then,
for
if
sure.
you add another 4, which it might do, that's now straight on to the bottom line, right? Now you're starting to become profitable.
Yeah.
Thanks, Doug. Dave, your thoughts?
I was just listening to the thing about the Starbucks. It's a very interesting concept because there's a BP garage around the corner from me, and when you went in for a car wash, they would then give you this card, and when you got to number 5 or number 6 was a free drive-through type thing. So if you, so let's say it was $40 for a drive-through or something like that. But even if you did a full valet and it was $100, they ticked your card. So you might do 3 full valets and 2 drive-through. You'll only get a free drive-through, which was $40. Okay. The price has changed slightly now, but it's quite an interesting idea about Starbucks. But one of the in our restaurant at the club, they used to, on a Monday night, give, I think it was pasta and pizza. If you bought one, they used to do for takeaways as well. So I think they got milked a bit there. But if you in the restaurant, you get one for free. Technically, you could. So if a husband and wife went, they would. You had 2 pastas, one gets for free.
Yes.
And then a Tuesday, it was burger night. So give mom a rest. So you could also get a burger for free. So every 2 you bought, you got one for free. So you would see a whole lot of people would probably pile in there with kids and things like that. And then the Wednesday night, they said we'd give you a steak or something for $99. And so it goes back. And then the Thursday night, they were doing a special prawn thing but I don't think they discounted that, but people would flood in.
Yes.
So it was quite an but to go back to a point Doug said, when I was in the insurance game with McCarthy or Bidvest, we were trying to sort of get more activity out of some of our dealers. And our Toyota dealer up in the Belita area, they weren't doing so well. So the DP then incentivized them, but they grew substantially. For example, and maybe they made 125,000 GP on some of our product as such, but they paid out. But they moved from 50,000 to 125. But then the DP got a little bit grumpy, technically, that they were probably paying too much out in commission. And I tried to explain to her, but you've just grown your business from 50 grand GP to 125, and maybe you're paying 30 out.
Yes.
Your net effect is far better than where you were.
Yes.
But you see, they get marked on certain ratios and things like that. And suddenly the commission thing went out of the so-called benchmark requirement. So the accountant was questioning. I said, well, tell the accountant to open their eyes.
Yes.
Because your actual profit you've made has gone up 75 and maybe you've given 25 away.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
But to go back to your other point, though, the trouble is, from my perspective, I've got to try and think, where am I in terms of the 1, 2, or 3 columns here? Am I a superior product? Am I a unique product? Or am I a commodity product? And it goes back to determining that, which would definitely is an important element. Because when you talk about, I mean, we did promo at a hyper last Saturday. The guys were there, we were there, and we gave free samples away or tasters.
Yeah.
So are we a superior product, but we're also competing in the commodity product range?
So if you're just selling flavored water, right?
Yeah.
Then you're a commodity, right? Because somebody can pick something else that also tastes nice, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It comes back to picking your ideal client, right? But if your product is now for diabetics,
yeah,
you're targeting diabetics, then it would either be a specialist product, and they're going to be educated on why this is better to use than anything else, or if you can show benefits, right? If you drink this stuff for 6 months continuously, your health is definitely going to improve. You have the results, right? Then it's a proven product with proven benefits, right? But then you must be able to demo it. You know, you got to demonstrate and show why it's better. So I would say the first thing you need to do is decide who your ideal client is. Right? We had that 1 or 2 trainings ago.
Yeah.
And then from there start to say, okay, if this is my ideal client, do I need to educate them? If so, how do I educate them? Can I? And then you can be in one, or sometimes those categories overlap a bit. You know, you can say, well, maybe I can do a webinar if that's going to work for diabetic people, or I can have a guide or a video that explains why this is so good for diabetics. If I give them, I can give them tasters. That's great at point of sale, just so to overcome just like Starbucks had for their new teas, had tasters to overcome initial resistance and get people to start considering it. So you can give tasters and so on, but you're not using that as a demo to show that they're going to be better off tomorrow if they have a sip of, you know, your drink today. So you use the tasters, etc., to entice people to try it. But you use the education to teach them about the benefits of your product.
That's a good point, but this was quite interesting when I was there last week. You get some people walk past, they don't even, when you say, would you like to taste something new or something like that, they don't even make eye contact. They're like,
yeah, why?
Hesitant. We're not charging you a cent. I said to them, you can take this for free.
It's
people
not relevant.
Go fly past you. They don't even want to look at you.
Yeah.
And then you get other people who sort of look and they see we had a banner and somebody said it had diabetic friendly. And somebody looks at you, comes at, must look at this. I could take this to my mom or my dad or my sister.
Yes.
And then you get the chance to engage with them and tell them a little bit about the product. But some people don't even give you time of day. They just go flying past.
Again,
but the other, yeah,
Dave, this is, let's just stop there for a second. I know we way over time. If you guys need to go, then, please do so. But this is like critically important, right? Remember, why are you trying to hone in on that target audience? Because they have a problem they're trying to solve.
Yeah.
And when they have a real problem, they mentally look out for solutions to that problem. Okay. So people who are just rushing past, they're not diabetic. They're not interested in quenching their thirst right now. They need to, they need to do whatever they need to do. Right. But if somebody's a diabetic and they see there's, hey, diabetic friendly or what have you, immediately they're going to stop and pay attention. That was that interrupt headline I spoke about in the second category of giving information, right? Your interrupt has got to talk to the problem, right? So it could be.
I hear you, but I think, and I understand what you, but you almost look at some of the people walking past, and you unfortunately you do stereotype occasionally and form an opinion. And I say, well, our product could be ideal to that person, but they are like scared to engage with you because they're in the zone and they're going into the store and they think you're going to charge them something, or you're going to try and come across, as you say, break their train of thought and say, okay, or let me look at this, just I'm interested. I'm not trying to sell you anything here. I'm just giving you a taster to try. You can actually buy it in the store if you like it.
So the other incentive, so that's that taster is an incentive to, to taste the stuff, right?
Yeah.
But remember, free information. If you had some, it can even be digital, right? But like brochures.
We had a pamphlet we had to hand out. Yeah.
I'm not talking about product brochures here, right? I'm talking about something that says the 5 biggest problems diabetics have with choosing the right drink and how to choose the right one that's healthy for them in the long run, or something like that, right? It's not saying buy my stuff, right? It's, hey, here's something really relevant and interesting. About it. Yeah. And then when you give that to them, and in there it says, here are the 5 things you should consider when you're buying drinks for diabetics. Number 1, this, consider this, consider this, consider this. And if you're putting good info in there that they often don't know, and then at the bottom of that, you start to then talk about your how cool product.
Yeah.
As an introduction, right? And you put a coupon there or something like that that says, 10% off if you order directly from us, and we'll deliver directly to your door. That gives them then the next incentive to, to buy. But it's targeted at those people and gives them great information. Next time they're walking past and they see how cool, and you get a free sample, they'll say, hey, I read this, I like what I read, can I taste?
Yeah. So Peter, can I just pass a point there? I think one of the things, Dave, I don't know his products, so I can't comment about that. But something that I see as a consumer is you've got to pick where you do what you do.
Yeah.
Because people are thinking, if a guy comes into a hardware shop, he's thinking, what are you selling him? It's the old thing. You're not selling him a drill. You're selling him a solution for the hole in the wall to hang the picture up that his wife's nagging him about. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So he's not coming there thinking about a cup of coffee. 99% of people and shopping centers in that today have become, in the way South Africa operates, we just walk straight past and get what we want and we want to get out. So I'm very into endurance sport, and at all our endurance events, when you go to them and you go to get your number or your t-shirt or whatever you got to get to register, they have expos, and the big smaller events just have a few little stalls. And I stand and watch this. It's amazing how much more interaction. Let's, for example, use a product like USN, which does drinks. If you put a USN stand outside Pick and Pay, they'll get 1 in 100 people come in there. You go and put it at an event, 99% of the people will go and taste it.
Yeah.
Because they're
Right,
thinking, you know what I'm trying to say? They're there because of something and they think it'll benefit them in that environment. Whereas when you're just doing that mass approach, maybe I'm wrong in what I'm saying, but this is what I've watched. When you do a massive approach, it's hard to sift out the right people.
Yeah, I think I Doug, 100%. I think I shared, is it last week? Well-known marketing prof, I think it was Theodore Levitt, that said to his class, listen, I'm going to give you all a hot dog stand, one of those trolley jobs, with all the hot dog goodies and everything. Tell me what's the most important thing that you need to make this business a success. And the guy said, well, we need the right type of hot dogs. And the other one said, we need the right sauces and all that kind of thing. And he said, no, that's not what you need. What you need, the most important success ingredient, is a starving crowd. A starving crowd.
Exactly.
Right? So if you outside Ellis Park with that hot dog stand at 9 o'clock at night, and
You'll
a
be
starving
mugged.
crowd comes out, you don't need to have the best hot dogs in the world to sell out, right? You just need a starving crowd. And that's the same thing what you're saying, Doug. Be where the starving crowd is.
Yeah.
Right?
So maybe, Dave, you should go and do these things at park runs on a Saturday morning where, go and speak to your local park run. These things have become huge.
Yeah.
And, at health and record clubs, sort of pick a market on your product, which would actually show an interest in it. Look, I hear what you're saying. You do see people that think, my God, they need it.
Yeah.
But I think if you go target your market right, you'll get a much bigger response, and thereafter it'll start to grow.
Yeah. Okay, guys, look, I think we've come to way over the time. Makalani, any closing thoughts from your end?
Yes, just a quick one, Peter. Look, it's quite interesting. I was just thinking about it now. I mean, how does it work? There's a garage in Wynberg, a filling station. You fill up your tank and they give you a free burger. And I'll tell you, that's the busiest garage in town. And remember now, because they sell quality burgers as well, you get that free burger and taste it. I'm telling you, more and more customers go back there just to get the burger, because the burger is just so delicious. So it's amazing how it works. Now, thinking back to my line of work, accounting services are complementary. You do a payroll. Once the payroll is done, you need to interact with SARS and pay the UIF and pay the PSUN and all those compliance stuff. Yeah. Also, COEDA, for labor compliance. So one just need to sit down and see where the real pain is, because obviously if one is on a payroll, you have to do all those things for them as well. So one just need to sit down and see where the real pain is, and then probably one can use a value add there to get more customers.
So my recommendation is, where I would start is, which kind of clients can you help best? And
Yes.
then remember what you're selling there is commodity, right? Every other accountant does payroll, tax, you know, everything that you're doing, every other accountant can do exactly the same. So you're
Yeah.
always going to be under price pressure because you can't lift your prices much offering that. I would suggest the thing that you look at is to say, what other skills do you have, you know, your financial skills that you can help clients with, and which
Yes.
kind of clients are those? Right,
Yes.
so maybe you got great skills in cash flow, okay? And
Yes.
you say, what kind of clients need my services, and how can I take them step by step from a place where they have no or struggling with cash flow to a place where they are cash flush.
Yes.
Unhappy here, happy this side, right? And what are the steps I can take them through to get there? And on top of your accounting services, you start to help your clients to get along this path step by step to get them to this happy space.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you've got specialist skills to help restaurants, you know, grow and duplicate because you maybe own restaurants yourself, you could be an accountant that becomes an, you know, a builder of an empire builder. That's, and you attract those people, and on top of all your accounting, whatever, you help people with this. Okay, that's worth a lot to them, and you can charge more. Okay,
Yeah.
so try and get out of the commodity game. That's what I'm always trying to say to people. Get out of the commodity price game because it's a hard game.
It is.
And try to be unique. Try to offer real value to a specific group of people. Yeah, and then you can, once you show that value, you can charge more and you can incentivize the right incentives to get them to take up your products or your services.
Yes, Peter. Thanks for that. But remember in the beginning I said I'm also involved in farming. That's actually the other skill that one has because I've attended a lot of training. I've been
Right.
involved in you know, in a lot of farming projects. So in terms of business plans and how to go about that, so probably agricultural or farming clients would be ideal if I need to specialize.
Yeah. How can you help
Yeah.
farming clients grow more profitable? Right? Because you got that knowledge. So in addition, do all their accounting, their compliance, their tax, whatever, the payroll, but you know, use the opportunity to position yourself as somebody who can help them grow their farming business. If you've got those skills, you know, try and think about how you can use that.
Okay.
Okay. All right, guys. I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop share now, and